Greetings, gamers! I've been working on a new game called Incoming. Incoming is a 3D VR missile defense game. Protect your cities with a wide assortment of defenses against waves of warheads, bombers, zeppelins, and epic bosses. Wishlist today on Steam. Link is in the description. Greetings, Starfarers. Welcome to another episode of Starfield. I'm Cobalt Thorium. In this episode, we're going to do a couple different things here. So I finished up the Indium 3 planetary system here, and I think that we're just going to pop on over to Bernard's star here and try to search for cesium in a cave on Frost. And I'm just going to do this just to get it off of our list. And then we're going to go and finish up the mission for Ryujin Industries.
No organics here. Valuable minerals, perhaps.
Oh, hello. Looks like they're going over here. Let's go get them. Alright, I suspect these are going to be some fairly low-level gents. We are at Bernard's Star, which is like starting area type stuff. Oh, they're going to spawn over there. What do you guys think of this, of the model here for this ship? It's very weird. I don't know. What do you think of it? It's like asymmetrical. It's like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's like hovering stuff. It is very alien. I mean, they pulled that off. But at the same time, I think we're pretty sure at this point that they are not in fact aliens. I want to tag each one of them at least once, so in case my companion kills them, we still get some XP credit. That was a good shot, jeez. I'm impressed with myself on that one. Anybody else? I think that's it. Just the three. Low-level stuff. Let's get to this cave. Let's get to the cave.
It may take a bit of time to acclimate to the higher gravity here, so we should proceed carefully.
Get to the cave, get the objective complete. Get it off the list. Make space for new things. So I am considering, I think we probably should hop on back to Jemison and stash the contraband. We have one item of contraband. It's actually kind of stupid, but I don't want to have to get scanned every time that we go to either a system that's UC or Freestar. It's just tedious. So maybe we'll drop the stuff off at Jemison. Alright, that's all we need. Should be cleared. So we're going to drop this stuff off at Jemison. I might... I am kind of contemplating joining the Vanguard because it'll give us more exposure to more planets. That's something I kind of want to do. Like right now, we have this whole long list.
This is United Colony Space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete.
Alright. We have this whole long list of, like, pirates that we're supposed to confront and stuff like that, but we never actually seem to go to those planets. So if we're in the UC Vanguard, I feel like there's a higher chance that we're going to get to some of these places and get more of this stuff off of our quest list. More, like, we can get rid of some of those bounties and stuff, and I kind of want to start to wrap up this
Sometimes
game.
amuses me to think about what goes on here, right under the United Colony's collective nose.
Yeah, I kind of want to start wrapping up the game.
Hi there.
I
How's
feel
it going?
like we're pretty far into it, and we should kind of be getting into the end game here. But there's just so much stuff that's like... Wait a second. Oh no, I did it again. Oh. I hate this. Okay, they gotta fix this. It's so tedious. It's so fucking tedious. I'm just face bombing so hard right now. All right. Just make the ship inventory part of the player inventory. Just something like that. Or make the ship inventory and the permanent inventory the same or something like that. This is just it is so ridiculously tedious. Now we have to go do this again.
I find comfort in the idea that the odds of something killing us here are at an all-time low.
So 4 loads later, or whatever, however many that required, just to move one mech part. It's just so stupid. They need to fix this. But of course they probably won't.
I would be more useful to you aboard.
All right, let's talk to Sergeant
Would
Yumi.
your ship been idling here awaiting tasks?
Oh, we have to talk to what's his name too, Vladimir. So we'll get that when we're at the eye. Where is this taking us? It's taking us to the metro? Why? Oh, is this the guy that's down in the well? No. Where's this thing taking us? Is this the guy that's on Mars? it. Why is it taking us to... It says that this is at the lodge. Why is it taking us to the train? If it's taking us to the train, it's not at the lodge. Is this a bug? It is. It's going to be a bug. Great. Wonderful, thank you. Another bug. I think Sergeant Yumi is the guy at Sidonia. One of the police guys.
I am thankful these rides are quick. I do not like being in small, enclosed spaces with many people I do not know.
Or is this the guy at the front terminal thing? Let's talk to this guy. Okay, so this is a different guy. What is this? Officers. Interesting. Well, this is a different guy. Alright.
Back again. Are you interested in the job, by any chance?
I don't remember what the job is. Alright, let's say it. Definitely just tell me what we need to do.
Well, first things first, I have to ask, do you have any security experience at all?
I had a run-in with the Crimson Fleet. I don't know if that counts. Honestly, no, but I'm a quick learner. Or lie. Oh yeah, totally. This is security for the Astral Lounge and Neon for like 8 years. Well, this is disappointing. Since we're full-fledged Freestar Rangers. Alright, we'll go with the Crimson Fleet.
It sure counts for something. I mean, you're alive. And resilience is definitely an important trait for any officer. Well, I think I've heard all I need. Your first assignment couldn't be easier. Go to Mast and check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details.
All right, let's ask some questions. Why am I bringing this package here and not to Aegis? What is Aegis? Anyway.
Well, just because you're bringing it here doesn't mean that's where it'll end up. As for why, you can ask Aegis. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business.
Hold on just one sec. Okay, I gotta make sure that this is actually recording. It is. I'm paranoid after losing those 3 episodes.
You're saying?
You mentioned Aegis. Who are they?
Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're separate departments, there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relationship. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation stalled. Tit for tat. You know how it works.
So corruption. Yeah. So what is MAST? We know what MAST is, but...
You know, MAST. The Military, Administrative, and Scientific Triumvirate. Giant building in the center of the city? Headquarters of the entire United Colonies?
Yes, I know.
I really should have given you a more thorough interview.
All right, so Aegis is the CIA, basically. And why am I bringing this package here and not to Aegis? I want to answer this question, or ask this question again, now that we know who Aegis is.
Well, just because you're bringing it here doesn't mean that's where it'll end up.
Okay.
As for why, you can ask Aegis. As far as I'm concerned, it's... Let me know if you have any
Sounds
questions.
fishy. I wouldn't trust them. They're spooks. You know, you're not supposed to trust spies. Their whole identity
New
is
Atlantis
about...
puts on a wonderful show of security, does it not?
Their whole identity is about lying to people and being, dishonest. Like, that is what spies are. You can't trust spies. All right. Missions. Okay. This is your rented room. So do we have a real mission here now? Keeping the peace. We'll continue to do missions here on... You know what? Let's just join the Vanguard while we're here. And just take care of all this stuff.
Something to report?
So both of these should be at mast anyway. We'll get them both done at the same time. If it was. Alright, there should be an elevator. I think it's over here. Well, there's Aegis. Why is this telling us to go elsewhere? Alright, anyway, I'm pretty sure that this is... I would assume it would be an orientation hall, but maybe not. Well, I guess not. Lobby, I guess.
If we can avoid entering that
There we
building,
go.
I would prefer it. Let us just say I am allergic to bureaucracy.
You're already in the building. Get out of the elevator.
Welcome back. Here to finally take your shot at joining the Vanguard?
Sure. Okay, I'm game. Just tell me what I need to do next.
Well, all right. Take the elevator down to the Vanguard Orientation Hall. You can get started at any of the registration terminals. The system will walk you through the rest. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Alright, I guess that's that. Well, let's do the questions.
Something wrong with the exam?
I want to know something specific about the process for joining Vanguard. Okay, there's a bunch of dialogue here. I'm curious, how long have you been the Vanguard commander? This building is called Mast, right? What kind of name is that? Well, it's a giant building built into the, it's like shooting up into the sky. It practically looks like an orbital elevator. I think that's why it's called Mast. But that, of course, is the clever acronym. But what does the UC need foreign pilots to, or why does the UC need foreign pilots to fly for them? So it sounds like it's like the French Foreign Legion, but for the UC. Anyway, I wanted to, let's just go in order.
I'm here all day if you've got something else on your mind.
Yeah. Don't rush me. I wanted to know something specific about the process for joining the Vanguard.
Sure thing. What do you want to know?
I'm just going to go in order. Where do I register again? Oh, we already know. It's downstairs.
Just hop into the elevator. You want the button for Vanguard Orientation Hall. Register yourself at the terminals in the lobby, and the exam system will get you to where you need to go.
What kind of work would I be doing for you guys?
Vanguard work is as needed. When we've got jobs, we'll make them available to you. But the work itself, well, it runs the gamut. Sometimes you might be hunting down hostile ships on behalf of the UC Navy, or you might be called up to help the Science Division clean up some invasive species. Hell, we've even been asked to help take on the occasional terramorph. And sometimes we just need cargo support. Not every job's glamorous. The Vanguard only gets called in for the ones where there's a chance of seeing action. Wherever the UC needs us, the Vanguard is there.
Can you tell me about the exam and this... probationary mission. I don't think I've ever seen that word before written.
For the exam, we'll be putting you through a combat flight simulation. Let us see your piloting skills, evaluate how you behave under pressure, all without any risk of you inadvertently getting blown out an airlock. For the probationary mission, though, we'll be sending you out on a job all on your own. The specifics of the mission vary by what's available at the time. But we're not about to ask you to storm a Crimson Fleet base or whatever. At least, not on Mission 1. More likely, you'll be making a drop-off to some UC citizens in an area that's outside normal naval patrols. There'll be a risk of hostile contacts, but that's far from guaranteed.
I'm not going to get hurt during this, am I?
The exam's just a simulation. Only way you'll be hurt there is if you trip on your way inside. Now, for the probationary
It might
mission,
hurt my ego.
we select those specifically to ease you into the type of work you'll be doing here. Make sure you're capable of handling things on your own. But I can't promise it'll be risk-free. The UC sends us on jobs because there could be combat. This mission would be no different. Now, if that's a deal breaker, I won't be offended if you walk away. But this is the military. The chance of conflict is kind of in the job description.
All right, I'm all set.
I'll keep an eye out for your results.
There were
The
some more
process starts
things.
with registration down in the orientation hall. Or did you have a question?
I'm curious. How long have you been with the Vanguard, Commander?
Me? 6, 7 years now? Was a recon squad commander in a former life. So it wasn't too big a jump bossing around foreign pilots instead. But Vanguard's been a quality assignment. Meet new people, judge them on a series of diverse criteria, get them out there helping people who need it.
This building is called MAST, right? What kind of name is that? Well, we already know it's Military Administrative Scientific Triumvirate. Triumvirate's stupid. Should have done, like, technical or something. Anyway.
MAST is short for Military Administrative and Scientific Triumvirate. From here, the 3 co-equal divisions of the UC government work together to advance the cause of the colonies. Be that through mutual defense, political and diplomatic strength, or scientific discovery. Now, serving any of the UC's divisions grants citizenship, but scientific and admin positions in the UC tend to be real competitive. Understandable, most people would prefer to earn their citizenship behind a desk rather than in combat. Not something I'd ever choose for myself, but understandable.
Why does the UC need foreign pilots to fly for them?
Military used to have a pretty narrow view of where the best pilots came from. In their eyes, it was UC or bust. The creation of the Vanguard was an acknowledgement by the brass that maybe not all the galaxy's greatest pilots went through a UC flight school. So it's the Vanguard's job to find them and get them to fly for us.
All right. So the UC seems a little bit more Starship Troopers than I initially thought. Orientational. I feel like we should probably be able to, you know, get a pretty high score on this stuff. Registration. Can we actually just walk in? What do you guys have to say?
Grew up in Neon, so I get big cities, but one clean enough to eat off the pavement?
Signing up for the Vanguard?
That's new.
You went to terminals then? Or did you just pop by for 2 heaping scoops of propaganda?
My family never had any love
up
for
to
the
your
UC
wagon.
after the Colony War. Would probably disown me if they knew I was signing up.
They probably should.
You enlisting too? I've always wanted to live in New Atlantis, but they only let citizens buy
I mean,
property,
I don't
so
like the UC
here I
any
am.
more than the next guy, but they've got the credits. You been through the exhibit? UC certainly likes to talk about itself, huh? I really hope all this historical junk isn't gonna be on the test. You been through the exhibit? UC certainly likes to talk about itself, huh?
Look, you didn't hear it from me, but I got a tip. There's a way to hack the Vanguard exam. Get yourself a better score. You enlisting too? I've always wanted to live in New Atlantis,
right.
but they only let citizens buy property, so here I am.
Might as well. Let's just go. Applicant name, Molly. Earned bounty 0. To register for your examination, please select enlistment agreement. Note any outstanding UC bounty must be paid before proceeding. By joining the United Colonies Vanguard, you agree to perform necessary services for the United Colonies that could place you in serious danger, resulting in harm to your craft or yourself, up to and including death. In exchange, the United Colonies Vanguard agrees to compensate all captains according to their experience level and the difficulty of the task requested. All applicants will be required to earn a satisfactory grade on a simulated combat flight. Successfully complete a probationary mission. Upon the completion of both prerequisites, the United Colonies Vanguard agrees to sponsor your citizenship application and guarantees the granting of United Colonies citizenship once sufficient time or acts of valor have warranted it. Do you agree to the above commitment and wish to initiate your journey with the United Colonies Vanguard? Sure. All right. Applicant named Molly. Consent documented. You may proceed to the examination chamber through the orientation hall. Main menu. Welcome, Molly. Please proceed through the orientation hall to the exam chamber. All right.
Registration accepted. You may now proceed through the historical displays in the orientation hall, or continue on to the examination.
The end of Earth. Oh my goodness, this is going to take forever, isn't it? It's dark in here.
In 2150, humanity learned the Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet. Decisive action was required, but the secure transport of an entire civilization would demand a new kind of cooperation, a new kind of courage, and a new kind of union. Thus, in 2159, the United Colonies were formed to make that journey possible. Just 1 year later, the Galileo, the first of many colony ships, touched down here on Jemison, beginning a new era of human history, the age of the United Colonies.
The exodus from Earth meant more than just the beginnings of the United Colonies. But still, a tremendous undertaking.
What do you have to say for yourself?
You here to enlist? Don't worry, none of this junk is on the exam. I've probably got every display in this place memorized at this point. In 2050, the Earth exploded. Love that one. I'm not part of the tour. Move along. What? One of the displays broken? I'll call up to maintenance. This assignment isn't glamorous, but it sure beats patrols. You here to enlist?
All right, that's that.
Don't worry, none of this junk is on the exam.
All right, new factions rise. Oops.
From their foundation, the United Colonies strove to provide all their citizens with opportunity, security, and peace. But there were those among the UC that still wanted something more. Independence. So in 2161, the UC issued the Centaurus Proclamation, granting UC citizens the right to settle distant worlds and form their own sovereign powers. It wasn't long before the first new faction, the Free Star Collective, was formally organized in 2188, later followed by House Varun, revealing themselves to the universe in 2230.
Of course, this has nothing positive to say about House Varun. I should expect no less from the United Colonies.
Well, that's a Varun. Oh yeah, here we go. Varun spacesuits. So we see Varun casual uniform. That's kind of interesting. Free Star Collective. Jeez. The Narian War. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a bunch of reading. Okay. Well, let's just finish looking through here before we do that.
Please don't touch the displays. Look, I'm not supposed to be giving opinions on this stuff, but the UC's in a lot better hands these days than back before they signed the armistice. You looking for the exam room? Just down the hall. Try not to disturb the other patrons, okay? Please don't touch the displays.
All right. Let's go ahead and read it. It seems like these are supposed to go in a particular order. The history of the Narian War. Beginning in 2196, the Narian War, humanity's first large-scale conflict among the stars, is remembered as a defining moment for the settled systems. As the first major conflict to make extensive use of grav jump-enabled ships, the Narian War was less defined by key space battles, and more by an extended cat-and-mouse interplay between the two powers, as well-armed and professional UC Navy tried again and again to pin down the piecemeal but savvy Freestar fleet. Unable to strike a killing blow, the UC resorted to ever more severe tactics to try and drive the collective to capitulate, but without success. In fact, after many long years of war and little to show for it, even the populace of the UC itself began to turn against the cause, with protests roiling even in New Atlantis. The citizenry demanding the war finally come to an end and a humane close. Just me ad-libbing a little bit there. So, when at long last the final blow was struck, the UC Navy finally cornering and obliterating the Freestar fleet in 2216, it was a hollow victory. It was from the resulting negotiations, the Treaty of Narian, that the settled systems, as we know them today, emerged, both literally and figuratively. Despite winning the war, the UC found themselves in an unenviable position, painted as a brutal aggressor even in their home systems. So, in the spirit of unity and lasting peace, the UC agreed to the demands of the Freestar Collective, the Narian settlers, whose collusion triggered the conflict in the first place, and handed over Narian to the Collective, as they had requested at the start of hostilities, including the Clinic Medical Star Station. Oh, this should be a capital T, by the way. The Clinic. It's not just Clinic. Creating the Freestar Collective as is known today. This is interesting because this is very different than how we've learned about the Civil War previously. Like the Freestar Collective definitely believes that they won the war, and since their demands were the ones that actually went through, like were realized and part of the treaty, it seems like they were the ones who won the war. And yet here, the UC is declaring victory, when it seems like everywhere else in the settled systems, it is acknowledged that the Freestar Collective won the war. So that's kind of interesting. Like the guy in the waiting room back there basically said that this whole display is just like UC propaganda, and this seems to indicate that is actually the case. Anyway, let's finish this up. In return, the UC demanded two concessions. The first was payment for damages done in the form of mineral rights on multiple worlds across the galaxy. The second, more significant demand was that no great faction may ever colonize more than 3 systems. Really? The UC would have Alpha Centauri, Sol, and Wolf, and the Freestar Collective would have Cheyenne, Volii, and Narian. The Freestar Collective agreed to these terms, creating and codifying into law the settled systems as we know them today. The Treaty of Narian has since become the foundation for all contemporary political relations, and its only official violation, the cause of the galaxy's greatest conflict, the Colony War. Okay, so Colony War and Narian War are different. Okay, well that might maybe this is correct then, because it seems like the Colony War was won by. I guess I assume that they were just like the same war with different names. Like, I guess the War of 1812 has a different name from the UK side. And ironically enough, the UK also believes that they won the War of 1812, while America believes that we won the War of 1812. So in some ways that's kind of similar. But to learn about the Colony War, please proceed to Conflict Among the Stars mural. All right, let's continue on. So we also have the Serpent's Crusade.
Beginning in 2240, House Varun forces declared all-out war on the rest of human civilization, initiating the Serpent's Crusade. Over the next 23 years, thousands of Freestar, UC, and independent souls were killed by agents of House Varun in the name of their serpent god.
Oh, I didn't know this.
It was only with the death of their founder in 2263 and the succession of his heir, Jarek, that House Varun finally sued for peace. There remains, however, select members of House Varun who refuse to recognize the cessation of hostilities their leaders established.
Wow.
Even after House Varun's mysterious disappearance, these zealots remain a threat to all who encounter them. Their pacification, a goal of all space.
Dark. All right, Conflict Among the Stars. So this must be the Colony War. Oop, wrong button.
Of the many conflicts between the galaxy's factions, none was more brutal than the recent colony war between the UC and the Freestar Collective. Set off by the unauthorized Freestar colonization of Vesta's Pride in 2308, a direct violation of the Nerion Treaty, the colony war spread quickly across the galaxy. Both sides deployed every tool at their disposal. Armadas of warships, mechanized combat platforms, or mechs, even bioengineered alien creatures, the infamous UC xeno-weapons. It was only in 2311 at the Battle of Cheyenne that the scales finally tipped. The Freestar Collective, utilizing their civilian fleet as a human shield, successfully crippled the superior United Colonies Navy. After their shocking victory against the galaxy's greatest navy, the Freestar Collective offered terms of peace, which the colonies, out of an interest in staving off any further human costs, accepted. The galaxy has been rebuilding ever since.
I suspect many in the Freestar Collective would take issue with the way the Colony War is represented here.
You think? Alright, that's pretty interesting. Well, here's a mech. I thought they were a lot bigger than that. Must be scaled down. The Battle of Nera. Let's go for it.
Few settled worlds were left untouched by the colony war. But nowhere could the viciousness of modern warfare be seen more clearly than on the Freestar planet of Nera. Initially occupied by invading United Colonies forces as a forward operating position, repeated attempts to take and retake the planet by collective forces led only to devastation. Swaths of the world were transformed into scorched husks, a nightmarish testament to the depths of human ingenuity and human cruelty. And today, Nera remains a continuing reminder to the horrors of unfettered war.
So here's a mech. I mean, nobody's gonna fit in there, so that's gotta be scaled down. Here's a terramorph.
I really hope this is just a phase.
I think it's terramorph. Let's talk to him.
This thing's like an artist's rendition, right? No animal can be this ugly in real life. I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing. You know it was some UC general that condemned Londinian? Gave it over to these things. One of these murals said he was executed after the war. might have gotten off too lightly. I bring her here almost every day to stare at this thing.
All right, let's talk to
All
her.
4 of my last science papers have been on terramorphs.
Okay, so that is a terramorph.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist.
Is it
science division or nothing?
Whoa, who are you?
Oh, don't let me get in your way. I've seen all this plenty already. UC sank a lot of money into this place. They say it's to teach foreign pilots our history. You think the Freestar Collective's got a place like this? Probably take too many bribes to get it off the ground. That pension doesn't go as far as it used to. But wandering around down here with a cup of coffee, there are worse ways to spend a couple hours. UC sank a lot of money into this place. They say it's to teach foreign pilots our history.
Let's talk to this.
I think it's more about telling history how they want it told.
Wait, that's different.
You think the Freestar Collective got a place like this?
Maybe not. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
Probably take too many bribes to get it off the ground.
A real terramorph.
Is it real or is it just a plastic terramorph?
No one knows how they move between planets. I wonder if they can grav jump or something.
I think that they are heat leeches.
One of my slates said terramorphs can control people's minds. But that can't be true.
I've never seen evidence of it.
Dad wanted me to apply for the administration track at school, but I'm going to be a xenobiologist. It's science division or nothing.
So does this mean that the UC created the terramorphs? I don't...
This thing's like an artist's rendition, right? No animal can be this ugly in real life.
So let's go ahead and continue this.
In the midst of the colony war, a different kind of tragedy struck the UC city of Londinian. A newly constructed but critical supply center for the United Colonies' war effort, Londinian found itself overrun by one of the galaxy's most mysterious predators, the Terramorph. A rare but pervasive threat to all human-settled worlds, Terramorphs swept over the city, seemingly out of nowhere, on a scale never before seen in recorded history. Valiant efforts by the UC military slowed the onslaught, but the creatures proved unstoppable. Ultimately, the decision was made to destroy the Londinian spaceport, sealing off the city, the outbreak, and its citizenry from the galaxy at large. The tragedy of Londinian is mourned by the UC to this day.
Alright, this is interesting. That means this Vanguard maybe will actually figure out the... Maybe we'll have a story where we'll figure out the origins of the terramorphs.
Terramorphs can control people's minds.
Alright.
But that can't be true.
So we have the armistice.
After the devastation wrought by the colony war, the UC and the Freestar Collective came together to ratify a treaty that became known as the Armistice. Both sides agreed to a vast reduction in standing forces, and that xeno-weapons and mech warfare would be outlawed. All related research was sealed away, accessible only in cases of dire emergency. But the Collective had another demand, that the active commanders of the UC military stand trial for their actions. The United Colonies, in the interest of peace and galactic security, agreed. In 2311, 3 United Colonies senior officers were found guilty.
Wow.
Commander Henry Durant, General Indira Rastogi, and Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon, known better as Ve Victus. All were sentenced to death for their actions, bringing the colony war to a close and returning peace to the galaxy at long last.
Wow.
After everything, it is almost impossible to believe that the armistice happened. But I admit I am glad it did. The settled systems have benefited.
I wish she'd stop walking around. It's kind of distracting. to read this. By order of Armistice Article 13-61A, there shall be established a central archive guarded by 3 parties: the Freestar Collective, House Varun, and the United Colonies, for the collection and protection of all knowledge, research, and documentation depicting, describing, or in any way related to technologies and mechanisms banned by the Armistice. It shall be governed by the following laws. 1. Access to all information in this archive will be mutually managed by all 3 parties. Access is only permitted by unanimous agreement of authorized factional representatives. 2. The facility will be under the direct control of no sovereign faction, with no single party permitted to overrule the others. All decisions regarding matters pertaining to the archives must remain unanimous. 3. Any attempt at unauthorized access will be considered an act of aggression against all parties. Each party commits to defend the others against any such attempts. Notice 77 KXR. If you have any questions, please contact Mass Public Relations Desk. So one thing that I do find kind of curious here is that the knowledge archive is here on Jemison. Meaning, if the UC wanted to get in there, they're the only ones who probably could. Like, they're the only ones who could overpower the others. Alright.
You have a nice day now. Got a call, someone's power kept going out. Know what it was? A heat leech, as long as my leg. Ugh.
Disgusting.
Aren't you the one I saw running away from that crazy guy? Man, New Atlantis gets weirder by the day.
I think they're talking about the one that who could clone himself and what is his name? It's like the Hunter or something?
And up there, huh? Space? Must be cool. I never get to go to space.
So I think she's just got the regular dialogue options. Cool ship. The Vanguard is born.
It was into this new world that the Vanguard was born. An official branch of the UC Navy, the Vanguard is the United Colonies Volunteer Fleet, serving a myriad of security, logistical, and reconnaissance roles. And after a sufficient length of service, UC citizenship is guaranteed to every Vanguard member. Open to all captains, regardless of origin, the Vanguard is leading the charge to protect and support the citizens of the United Colonies, wherever in the galaxy they may be.
All right. Hello.
You looking for the exam room? Just down the hall.
All right, I think this is the same set of conversation pieces as one of the other characters back there.
Look, I'm not supposed to be giving opinions on this stuff, but the UC's in a lot better hands these days than back before they signed the armistice.
All right, so we got a ship here. Got a fairly clashing uniform. Gotta say it's kind of hideous. Why is it doing? Why does it not have a mouth? Like it's kind of Batman RoboCop-y. Let's go. Come on.
No one is born a United Colony citizen. Only through service to the UC can one hope to earn one's citizenship. But the UC prides itself on taking care of its people. Cost of living controls mean citizens pay less than their foreign counterparts for needs big and small. All citizens are issued a grant upon joining to get themselves on their feet. And only UC citizens have the opportunity to purchase property, getting the chance to live in one of the most beautiful cities in the settled systems. By joining the Vanguard today, you too can begin earning your place here, in the heart of galactic civilization, as a citizen of the United Colonies.
Ba-bum. All right. I guess that's that. Let's go. Well, I think that we should probably wrap up the episode here because it's going to be too long. Getting through all that was pretty long, so I think we'll wrap it up here and we'll do the exam in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you have, please like, maybe comment, maybe share, maybe subscribe. New episodes every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, US and Canada. I'm Cobalt Thorium, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.